Maybe you've heard of outsourcing before. Maybe you've even heard of people hiring somebody in the Philippines. Why the Philippines? There are real good reasons why I only hire people in the Philippines. I'm going to share them with you here. All right, so we've got Katie Gutierrez here, good friend. You're wanting to become a rock star on YouTube. You already are a rock star in business. And I'm excited to kind of jump into this topic about outsourcing to the Philippines. What's your initial take on outsourcing like that?
Well, as a business owner, I find it very difficult to have extra time to do extracurricular activities, if you will. I know and am dedicated to doing YouTube and establishing a presence on YouTube, and I definitely cannot take the time, choose not to take the time, to spend it on doing something that I can outsource. Mm-hmm. What I have found is that doing things local is exorbitantly expensive.
Mm-hmm.
And
Miami.
In Miami, it's very, very expensive to find video editing and things like that at a reasonable price. And in previous coaching that I have received from you, it's important to produce so many videos that you can be posting a video once a day, so that cost just adds up and adds up and adds up.
Do you know how much it costs to hire somebody full-time in the Philippines?
I don't.
Do you have a guess?
I would say $60,000 a year.
$500 a month. So that's about $6,000 a year.
That's a shocking number.
Yeah, $60,000 a year, you could find somebody here in the U.S. But to hire somebody in the Philippines, that's one of the biggest reasons, because their cost of living, the amount of money that they ask for and that they need to live their lifestyle is so extremely low. And, you know, when I first started hiring people in the Philippines, on one hand I felt grateful, but I also felt like I'm taking advantage of them. I just met my team just a few months ago. I've been hiring people in the Philippines now for 9 years. And so just a few months ago, I went there to visit them for the first time. And I took every one of them aside and actually filmed it. There's a video on my channel where I talk about this. Am I taking advantage of my team by paying them so little? And every one of them responded and said a couple of things. They talked about blessing, that this is, no, you're not taking advantage of me. It's a blessing. They used the word opportunity. Like, yeah, this is opportunity. We can't find work. We can't find jobs like this. And they all talked about the commute. They say, if I were to get a job here in the Philippines, I might be able to make a little bit more than what you're paying me, but I'd have to have a commute, which would be time away from my family. I'd have to pay for the transportation, whether I'm driving and I have to pay for fuel, or I have to pay for the bus or whatever. And they said, but I get to work from home, and I'm a mom, and I get to care for my kids, and I just love this lifestyle. And so they talked about the blessing, and they talked about the opportunity, and they talked about they don't have to commute. So it was kind of neat, and it's a huge blessing to think that I could hire 10 full-time people for the same, for that $60,000 a year.
So it's a win-win relationship.
Totally is. Some other reasons why I hire people in the Philippines: English it's their second language, but it's a high second. It's a real close. English is taught in the schools. All the signage is in English. When I went there, I didn't have to speak Tagalog. Everybody spoke English to me. There are different degrees of accents, where some have thicker accents than others. There's different degrees of their writing ability and being able to have, great English grammar. So depending on what position that might need those skills, but for like video editing and for any type of graphic design, web design work, podcast stuff, anything on the computer, spreadsheets, bookkeeping, my team is amazing.
Do you find it challenging with the time change, and how does that communication during different hours of the day?
Yeah, because they're basically on the other side of the planet, so you're right. Sometimes it's challenging. I'm used to it because I've been doing it for so long. At first, I chose to look at it as a cool advantage, because I could work during daytime hours, and when I hit 5 p.m. my time, I then give a whole bunch of tasks to my team in the Philippines, and that's when they begin their work. So then they're working all through the night, and while I'm sleeping, and when I wake up in the morning, all their tasks are done.
Oh, that's interesting.
So there's a kind of a positive way to look at it.
So it almost feels like the work is done instantly because you go to sleep, you wake up, it's done.
Yeah, when the saying of work's being done while I'm sleeping. I mean, it literally is the case with hiring people in the Philippines. But you just have to know, I don't choose their schedule. Some companies that hire people in other time zones will require them to work their hours. Maybe if it's a telemarketing job or something like that where that was required. But otherwise, that's kind of torture. Why would you, so I just say, just work 8 hours, choose your schedule, let us know when you're going to be working, and it works out.
When you're creating a YouTube video that is intended to be populated in the United States, do you find that they have a way of thinking about the video and looking at the video that will translate to the American?
I think I know what you're asking. The way that the Filipino mind works that I've seen, that I've experienced, with logic and just reasoning, I find it right in alignment with the way that us as American and our culture thinks. Compare that to other countries like India or China. Wonderful, amazing people, but there is some barriers of communication, not just in language, but in communicating something with them and then saying, hey, did you understand that? And they'll say yes, but what they're actually saying is, well, I heard you talk, but they didn't follow, they didn't understand. The ability for me to say, hey, this is what I want to create, and for them to go and implement it and do it and really understand, it works really, really well in the Philippines.
Well, that's exciting. And I love the idea of creating this one world environment wherein we're working with people in the Philippines, or working with people here. And I think that idea of one world and that unity is really exciting to me too.
That really hit me the hardest when I met my team for the first time. We were meeting at a restaurant, and one by one they all came. And when the whole team was there, at that time I had 10 team members. I'm up to 12 now. Got to meet my 10. And I wasn't expecting it, but I felt a huge amount of joy. I felt like everyone there loved me. And I'm feeling it. I felt like, wow, I'm making a difference in their lives, and they're here appreciating me. I was kind of going into it like, okay, this is going to be a work meeting. I hope we all get along. I wonder what's going to happen. But when I got there, it was so joyful, and like, this is my family, this is my tribe. People that I don't know, that we support each other, and I saw the impact I was making in their lives, and so it really gave me a sense of like, wow, they're benefiting me and my company so much, and obviously my clients through the services that we offer, and yet I'm providing the livelihood for these 10 people, or now 12 people, so it's really cool.
That's really fulfilling feeling, and to feel like you're part of this bigger thing happening in the world is really cool.
Yeah. So I've covered this topic on why I hire people in the Philippines, and there's other videos that I do recommend that you check out, because I go through more of a specific checklist. But I thought it would be fun to introduce this topic again. Do you have employees in your company?
I do.
And are they all local?
They are.
What would it mean if you could spend an extra $1,000 a month and have 2 more full-time people dedicated to do whatever you needed them to do?
That would be next level. And I never even considered that, because I just always assumed it was out of the budget.
Yeah.
So this is opening up a whole new world of possibilities.
So I'm going to hook you up with my outsourcing guide. And for those watching that are interested, I've got an outsourcing guide. You can click and link to it below. And it just shows you step by step on how exactly I find people. I don't go through an agency where I have to pay a marked up fee. I just contact them directly, and they work for me. They work from their homes, and they're amazing. They're reliable. They're loyal. They're great people.
Awesome. I'm excited to check that out.
So be sure to subscribe, and we'll see you tomorrow.